Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be the last video of my series of top 5 champions per each class. So today we have arrived at Cosmic class, which I believe to be the strongest class in the game currently. And we're going to be taking a look at which 5 champions I believe are the best Cosmic champions in the game right now. So first of all, we're going to start with Corvus Glaive, because I think he's the best Cosmic champion right now. And the main reason why I do believe so is his cheat death mechanic, his healing of bleed, insane damage output, and just the pure simple fact of how many potions he can save you in AQ, how great he is for your general questing, when you're doing your monthly uncollected, so on and so forth, how easy he is to wield. And that's what you don't need to do anything special. You just need to take in Corvus and you need to hit opponent and they are gonna die. You have a very simple playstyle. When you ramp him up with boosts and cosmic power boosts, this dude turns into an absolute savage. When he builds up his charges, he's just crazy. I think he has like pretty much like the best go, like start of the fight damage kind of like, especially when you have a couple of persistent charges built up, couple of missions compiled. You don't need to do anything in that fight. You flat out start hitting incredibly hard from the first hit of the fight. You don't need to build any poise charges. You do not need to do anything. You just need to strike the opponent. They're gonna go down extremely quickly, and that is beautiful. Also, he has good amount of versatility because he's shock immune, he's bleed immune. He cannot die from any damage over time debuff with his awakened ability, so long as you have a single glaive charge. There are many ways how you can like kind of conserve your glaive charges cleverly. Also, while he has glaive charge, he doesn't take shock or bleed damage or cold snap damage, and in fact he heals from them, making him extremely suicide friendly. And overall, he's just a fantastic champion. That's one of the best champions in the game as far as I'm concerned. Only downside with Corvus is that he kind of have to be ranked according to the game content you're playing. Let's say 4-star Corvus isn't going to do you any miracles, even though he still can be very viable with his cheat death mechanic and so on. But typically you want your Corvus to be at kind of like his peak strength potential to get most out of him. But anyways, off to spot number 2, and I'm actually kind of in between which should be second, which should be third. But spot number 2, we're going with Hyperion, just because Hyperion is one of those champions that's like a right proper workhorse. There are many different ways that you can use him, how you can play him, spamming level 1s, spamming level 2s, kind of playing conservative level 3s with heavy attacks. However, he's one of those champions that has proved himself time and time over again. He's great in variant 1, he's great in Act 6, he's great in variant 2, he's great in AQ, he's great in questing. He's just so good in so many different places, and I think his kind of like usefulness at this point in the game is pretty much undeniable. He's also easy to play, easy access to special attacks, special spams, heavy spams, and just building up that massive damage. So you can also do a lot of damage without having like a need to build up power, because you can just kind of wait out and spam your level 1s with your power gain. That power gain is absolutely nuts, by the way. And he also has regen, which might not be the best regen, but still can come in handy. And definitely overall, Hyperion is an absolute beefcake of a champion. I really like him. I'm super happy I rank 5'd him. Initially, I wasn't kind of like over the moon with Hyperion, and I ranked him pretty much only because I got a Cosmic Gem from first variant completion. But now, having him as rank 5 and having used him for like a long period of time, I'm definitely happy I have ranked him. He has helped me a lot. And yeah, so that's about Hyperion. Plus, obviously, he's poison immune and all that good stuff. But anyway, so moving on to spot number 3. And spot number 3 is gonna go to, I think, my Captain Marvel is stuck in AQ still, so we're gonna have to use my 2-star because I don't have her as 3 or 4-star. But anyways, Captain Marvel, the new one, the movie version. I kind of wanted to put her in second place, but I didn't do that just because I don't have enough experience with her yet. However, binary ignition damage is amazing. She has been doing absolutely fantastic work for me in AQ as well. Those stuns and the damage she can put out as soon as she enters binary, the fact that indestructible has been helpful. She's also one of the few champions that's great against like Mr. Sinister, and I feel that indestructible 12 seconds combined with the damage output is completely crazy in terms of how much damage you can deal while being completely indestructible at the beginning of each fight. So I think there's definitely a lot more to be explored in exactly what I can do with this champion. But one thing is for sure, I really like her. I think he has a great potential. I think that indestructible buff, that such a long indestructible buff, is one of the most beautiful things in the game. She has absolutely fantastic heavy attack. She also has a fantastic mechanic where you punish opponent's heavy attack with your own, you also get stunned, and that like also unlocks another piece of utility and kind of like an opening for her to dish out a lot of damage. And overall, yeah, I just really like the champion. I possibly would rank her second if I had more experience with her, but in the short amount of time I have been using her, I think she's definitely worth at least of a rank 3. And then we're gonna move on to champion spot number 4. And that is going to be Medusa. Medusa is a fantastic champion. She has great base damage output. Another thing I like about Medusa is kind of like the safety blanket you have under 3 Furies, and you can be aggressive, trying to intercept opponents more and stuff like that, because if you will mess up, you will only eat like 1 hit in the face, and then you're gonna auto block opponent and you're gonna get to parry them and you're gonna have an extra opening. And overall, yeah, she has a great damage output, but the thing that really kind of deserves her spot number 4 in Cosmic class is just how well she destroys all robots in the game. When you shatter their armor, which is an easy thing to do, get to level 1 and that's pretty much it. They gain no power, they have no ability accuracy. That no ability accuracy also often extends to nodes and such, and it just have been so helpful in Act 6, where we have Ultron bosses, where we have Sentinel bosses in Variant 1, and basically throughout the contest, that ability to completely shut down robots is not maybe completely unique, but it's definitely really great. And it has helped so many people finish Act 5, finish Variants, do 6.1. She's always one of those champions. She might not be kind of like standalone superstar of a roster, but you're often really happy that you have a Medusa at rank 4, rank 5 just to be able to use for those situations where you really kind of need her. And she's a decent kind of questing champ as well, because her damage output isn't bad at all, especially if you run like Black Bolt with her, when she can build up 6 Furies or full Inhuman Trinity when you get additional 25 extra % attack. She's definitely a great promising champion that does a lot, and so long as there are annoying robots in the game, she's going to be one of the best answers for them. Therefore, I do believe Medusa is well deserving of spot number 4. And spot number 5 is struggling in between Obsidian, Venom the Duck, and Venom. I think all of those 3 champions are kind of really close in usefulness. So as far as I'm concerned, top 3 are excellent champions. They stand kind of like head and shoulders above the rest of the class. Then Medusa is slightly behind them, not too much, but still slightly. Medusa goes down. And then there is again a bit bigger gap in between Medusa and the rest of the champions in Cosmic class. But, so, in between Venom the Duck and Obsidian and Venom, I will choose Venom as my 5th champion. And that is mainly due to the fact that with Venom, you always know what you get. You don't need to rely on a ramp up, especially it is really important in kind of Variants, Act 6, stuff like that, because there are no easy fights. From the very first fight of the quest, you're hit with something difficult, and you have to have an answer for it. So pretty much with Venom the Duck and Obsidian, those champions, when ramped up, can be insane. They do insane amount of damage. Venom the Duck can have so much versatility, damage, armor, regeneration, power gain, all of that depends how you build him on. Venom the Duck, when built up, is arguably one of the best champions in game. So is Obsidian. If you have him at 10 missions, he can do insane numbers out. But the problem is a ramp up, and when you face more difficult content in the game, you often don't have a chance to ramp up all that well. Now, Corvus might have a ramp up problem as well, but I don't think it's as big of a ramp up problem, because in case of Corvus, in the worst case, the fight is going to be slightly longer. In case of Venom the Duck and Obsidian, those champions don't have the greatest block proficiency. The damage difference really does feel a lot more, and the fight is just so dragged out. And in case of Venom the Duck, you can be a victim of bad RNG, which is gonna make your ramping up really difficult. Call Obsidian is kind of similar because your damage is also quite heavily gonna depend on how well or badly your armor breaks are gonna proc. I haven't had the most amount of experience with Call Obsidian, but for instance, I did try to use him in Act 6 as a rank 1 6-star, and it just wasn't working out. I took him for a path and I ended up spending more items and heals and revives than I would have otherwise, just because I want to test him out. And as a rank 2, maybe he would do better. Probably he would, but still, they still have the problem that the ramp up for them can be really kind of painful. With Venom, you get what you see. You start the fight with buffs. Obviously there can also be some RNG involved, but you can basically have a chance to re-roll your buffs or just use level 2 and convert all of them in Furies anyways. But with Venom has also been doing better and better in different quests. He's been becoming more and more useful in AQ. He was an absolute superstar in Variant 2. I believe there are plenty of places where Venom could be useful in Act 6 as well, should I had him ranked up. And I think that is what puts kind of Venom above Venom the Duck and Call Obsidian. He might not have as high of a potential ceiling, but his base is extremely stable, extremely solid, and he can do a lot. So yeah, Venom is gonna get my 5th place in my top 5. I know many of you might be upset that Venom the Duck didn't get it, or especially Call Obsidian, because Call Obsidian seems to have quite a big following in people. But again, for those two champions, I just haven't seen them do enough in like the serious content in AQ, in AW. Not enough people use them. I haven't like seen proved and tested results for them, and I have for every single other champion in my top 5. Therefore, yeah, such as my top 5 it is. I think it is, well, at least I tried my best to explain my reasoning for placing the champions in there. I hope you guys agree. If you do not, let me know what would you place differently. Why do you disagree? And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button. And yeah, I'm gonna see you guys soon.